What are some of the signs that you've seen spirits give people or even that come through you?
Don't wait for your loved ones to cross over before you realize that that's a sign or not.
And then you just wait for the sign. You're like, okay, I finally found it, but it's probably been there all along. How do we approach death to kids?
We have to let our children know that just because someone crosses over doesn't mean that they're not there anymore.
If someone doesn't experience trauma or grief, do you think that they wouldn't have those kind of awakenings in their life?
If you choose not to deal with it, you're not really going to have an awakening. It's not going to come towards you. You're allowed to feel whatever you feel. No emotion is invalid. Every emotion has purpose and reason behind it. And I'm grown and this isn't affecting us anymore. Oh God, there's so many energies at this second. Anna's directly into you.
Feeling confident in your skin is so much more than what you see in the mirror.
And how can you feel good? Well, that starts from within.
Welcome to the In Your Skin podcast. I'm Christy.
And I'm Anna. Join us each week as we sit down with world-leading experts and thought leaders to delve into the latest insights, groundbreaking research, and cutting-edge advancements in wellness, longevity, and beauty. Thank you so much for being on In Your Skin. It's so nice to have you here. Now, I want to get straight into it. You're a medium, you're a psychic, but you haven't been doing this for actually a really long time. It wasn't like something that you just were born with or you knew that you were born with. It started later on in life. Can you kind of take us back to where it all began and how you've become the David you are today?
Yeah, thank you for having me on for starters. Yeah, but I definitely am a spiritual late bloomer, for want of a better phrase. So I was 24 years old when I actually got told by another medium that I had the ability to do what I do. And I wasn't raised religious. I didn't have sort of spiritual inclinations or anything like that. Like even as a child, I never saw spirits at the end of the bed or saw, felt or heard anything. And I was living a really normal 9-to-5 life. My background was corporate. I was working in corporate law and studying counterterrorism and very black and white. And got recommended to go see a medium, and she ran a mentoring class and told me that I had the ability to do this. And I was like, no, I don't. There's no way. Like I was 24 years old. Because a lot of the more prominent mediums, especially in America, they always talk about having it from birth and feeling and sensing as a child. But I got into it later in life.
But how did he know? How did this person know that you had these? Do you call them powers or a talent?
Yeah, I mean, I still believe every single person on the planet can do what I do. But I say we all sing, not everyone sounds like Pavarotti, I guess. So everyone can have their own tunes, but some are naturals and some aren't. But even when I sit down with people, you can sort of sense that they maybe are more in tune than normal. And that was the same for me. As soon as I sat down with her, she was like, your energy is vibrating pretty highly and you seem to be pretty intuitive. And
like, so go check it out.
Basically, yeah, it's sort of like, go check it out. All the dots are connecting to be able to do it a lot more sort of in flow, yeah.
And did you have to go into training for it?
So it was so casual, but she ran a mentoring class that was in the suburbs of Melbourne on a Wednesday night around her couch. Like it was actually the most comfortable, fun environment. And there used to be about 6 or 7 of us that used to go every week on a Wednesday. And that was sort of the training. She just said to everyone, because everyone was pretty much like I was. They either had no experience with it or they were sort of starting out. And it was basically to stand up in front of the class and whatever you say, whatever you want to feel, whatever you feel the need to say, and anything that you're sensing, just say it and people will connect with it. And I remember going to stand up in front of the class, and even in that moment, I was like, this isn't going to work. Like I'm so obnoxious and black and white, like a stereotypical man in my early 20s. And I remember standing up in front of the class and I was like, okay, let's roll then. Let's see what happens. And I closed my eyes and I suddenly felt like I was really tall. Like, and I'm 5'8", like I'm not a tall guy. And my heart was pounding, then got really sore. I was like, what is going on? And in hindsight, it was a really tall man who died of a heart attack when he was 39. Wow. And that was the first spirit I ever felt. And then, the curiosity gets the better of me. And I'm like, oh, I want to do this all the time now. Like,
and does anyone else in that group, they're just like, oh, no, I can't do it, I'm out? Like, how does it work? Or is everyone there, they can probably sense it a little bit?
There was definitely the regulars, but there are, like, it comes down to every single one of us. Like, it comes down to your own trust in yourself. Like, everyone has intuition. Everyone has gut feelings. Like, I'm sure you girls have had very strong gut feelings on things. That's part of it. Like, it's all energy and it impacts the body in a physical sense. So some of the people in the class were there every week and they loved it. And some people maybe didn't have faith or trust in their own connections or their own abilities. So maybe that wasn't just the right environment for them at that time. So you'd get a lot of flow-ins and flow-outs, yeah.
So are you reading energy? Are you seeing pictures or hearing words? Like how are you getting those messages across?
Yeah. So as a medium, I have the ability to see, hear, and feel. So when I'm seen, spirit will show me images in my own head. Sometimes it's like I'm watching a home movie, but I also allow them to have access to my brain, basically. So they can use my memories and my pop culture, my knowledge like a library. Hearing is, I can hear their voices most of the time. Sometimes they will use my inner voice to speak. And sometimes it will sound like they're right next to me, but sometimes it sounds like they're around the corner yelling out at me. And feeling is emotion. So if they're relaying stories that are current to their life or current to whoever I'm reading, I can feel the emotion around it. But it's also physical sensing as well. So if someone had a heart attack, my heart will get sore. If they had cancer, that sort of shows a symbol within my body. Like Alzheimer's, I'll get cloudy. And I like to say I also have the bonus packs, I call them the bonus packs, but of being able to smell and taste now as well. And this has developed over time. Like it always wasn't as strong at the very start. I've been, practicing and working in inverted commas in this field because I don't look at it like a job, but working in this area for, a good 14, 15 years now. And I'm still learning. There's still things in every reading that I do where it surprises me that, you feel it and you sense it and it makes sense to whoever you're talking about. It's really cool. Yeah.
Well, we are going to do a reading a little bit later. So if they're coming in now, maybe try not to interrupt until we get there, because that's why I think I'm so nervous. I'm like,
Anna's already going to cry.
Yeah, I cry at anything. And yeah, we were saying even before, we were just like, we both just got that feeling in our gut before speaking to you, because we just know things are going to come up. But anyway, we'll stick to the questions now.
Yeah. But I think I really resonate with that gut feeling. I think a lot of people do get those kind of feelings, and it's great to hear that you can start to build on or start to tune into some of your intuition and some of those energies and feelings. I personally, over the years have had many experiences where I'm like, I've, tuned into something, or I've, experienced something, or I'm using different tools now to go, okay, what's my intuition trying to tell me? I think that's really important. So how could people at home use different tools or, their own intuition to tap into their own abilities?
Well, I say with everything like this, the universe reacts to what we put out there. So training your intuition and tuning into your intuition is kind of like using a muscle. Like the more that you pay attention to it, the more energy that you give it, the stronger that it will get. But there's a multitude of different tasks. Like, as I mentioned, first of all, most importantly, pay attention to what your body is allowing you to feel. Because if you're having a physical reaction to something that's going on around you, that's energy giving you a message. But even simple tasks like meditation, I mean, the biggest misconception about meditation, especially in the Western world and especially in the world that we live in at the moment, is that we feel the need to quiet our minds and, sit in the stillness, go, that's the thing. It doesn't work like that. Meditation is all about just being able to center your thoughts and allowing your mind to travel wherever you want. And allowing yourself to do that, that's senses will get stronger. Allow your mind to show you what it wants to focus on. Mind obviously being part of your energy, but even simple things like grounding ourselves. How many of us, especially those of us that live in big cities, how often do we actually get to walk barefoot outside? Or how often do we get to be in nature or even just around water? I mean, it's a lot nicer up in the Queensland, obviously. You're like, Dave, that's our lives.
Straight to the beach now.
I'm from Melbourne, so it's a bit cold. But
so you should be doing it daily. It's something that you should really be doing daily.
It will be so beneficial not only to our spiritual well-being, but also just our mental health, our physical health. Just being able to strip everything back and just return to actually just being surrounded by fresh air, clean water.
Yeah, totally. And you're doing this every single day. I don't know whether it's from morning to night, but it must take a toll on you, your body, your health. What do you do to prioritize your health? Yeah.
Well, it's definitely been a learning lesson over time, because at the very start, I sort of did allow myself to burn out a lot, I think. And, obviously I'm connecting with energies that my body hadn't dealt with before, and, the mental toll that can take. And even when I'm sitting down with clients, you're talking about really deep personal topics that involve grief and death and traumas and things like that. So, I did allow myself to burn out, but as time has progressed, it's been a good lesson to really pay attention to a health routine. I love every morning without fail, or maybe this part without fail, but I try and go to the gym without fail. But my PT's Really?
I haven't seen you in weeks.
Yeah. But I try and go at least 3 days a week. But without fail, I'll do a 90-minute walk along the beach in the morning, like barefoot if I can.
And trying to think of like literally nothing, because thinking for you probably is quite taxing, I guess.
Well, again, it's kind of like allowing my mind to show me what it wants to.
Okay.
But yeah, definitely sort of separate myself from just life. Like, and I think so many of us, especially again with the world that we live in, we're taught that we have to think 10 steps ahead. Like, none of us are very present anymore. Like, and life, unfortunately, is a created environment that it has to be like that. Like, we have to think, okay, what am I doing on Monday? You know, mothers are like, well, what are the kids needing to do this time next week? Very rarely are we actually thinking, okay, what can I affect right now? What's my mental state right now? What's my body telling me right now? And the more that we're able to strip that back and pay attention to that, like, it just allows everything else to just flow away.
Flow.
Exactly.
And that's how you manifest as well. I think we all think it's about hustling and chasing, but actually taking the time to step back and look after yourself can actually help you manifest a lot more.
That's it. I always say, don't chase, attract.
Like,
allow your energy. And this is, a great thing to talk about, because as you mentioned, so many of us are hustling. We've all got goals. We've all got ambitions. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Like, it's aspiration. But we always can picture, predominantly most of the time we can picture, but we always know what we are seeking. Like, whether it's careers, relationships, work, whatever it may be, like, we know what we want to attract. But what we never pay attention to is that attracted to us. Like, are we currently looking after ourselves that person or that career or that financial reward would want to come towards me?
So it's two ways in a way. Are you saying like you've got to be ready, but the other side also has to be ready?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
you come together? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, even with spirit, but especially with anything we're wanting to attract into our lives, you have to look at it kind of like you're on one side of the cliff, that's on the other side of the cliff, and you're both building a bridge towards each other. But the universe, I always say, and whether you call it the universe or some call it God or some call it environment, whatever it may be, it's all the same thing really. But it doesn't owe us a thing. Like, it only matches our intention. And even science understands that the universe operates in frequency and intention and vibration.
Really interesting.
What about health issues? Do people come to you for health concerns or to help them overcome any health issues?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great question, because even from my own belief now and what I've learned over doing this for so long, that a lot of our health issues, especially mental health, but also autoimmune issues, a lot of the time, if not always, it has an energetic or emotional beginning. And when we're unfortunately able to acknowledge it or heal it, because at the end of the day, we're just human, that's fine. Like, you're not superhuman. But if we're unable to acknowledge it, heal it, evolve through it, or clear it, it's like a dam and the water builds up behind it. And if you can't break the dam, the water will overflow. And the overflow is, unfortunately, it manifested into a physical ailment. So when people have come to me, like I always say, like, I don't look at myself or other mediums as the be all and end all. Like, it has to be a holistic approach to healthcare, whether it's mental, emotional, physical, or spiritual. But yeah, definitely people come to me, and even what we're able to discuss with spirit, like, it's kind of like 10 therapy sessions in one in a lot of ways. Because I'm forever grateful that I've been granted sort of the safe space for a lot of people, that even after we've met, after 5 minutes, we're already getting down into really deep personal topics and they feel safe enough to do that with me, and spirit's guiding it. But there's nothing wrong with going to a therapist at the same time, or seeing a doctor, or going to acupuncture, any of the modalities that can help with our own wellness.
Yeah, it's so true. I personally went through health issues, and for a long time was just doing the medical and the functional and wasn't doing any of the spiritual or mental. And as soon as I started doing spiritual and mental, boom.
It just makes sense.
I released it.
Well, that's it. Like, we can all look at Western medicine. I mean, there's such benefit to it, and it does play an important role in life. But in a lot of ways as well, there's also a lot of things that some of the more modern modalities don't address. Like, if we've got sometimes mental health concerns, like, I don't have an issue with people being on anti-anxiety medication or antidepressants, but that can't also be the be all and end all. What's the emotional trigger point for that? Because if it was just a solely medical issue, then everyone would have it.
Yeah.
What's an example of someone who's come to you for a health issue, and maybe spirits come in and helped give them a sign or some guidance on how to clear it?
Yeah, it actually comes up quite often. But, one of the most common ones is unfortunately females, especially around our age or even in their 20s, that have a lot of reproductive or digestive issues. And to look at it from a spiritual energetic perspective, females predominantly store stress and anxiety through the abdomen. So unfortunately, that impacts on digestion. It impacts on reproductive health. And there's unfortunately about 400 billion organs in the abdomen. Men predominantly store stress and anxiety in the chest, so it impacts our lungs and our heart more. So when there's women in particular, and this is a generalization. Of course, this is not the case with every woman who goes through this, but even with reproductive health, they're having maybe trouble conceiving, or they're having trouble with their cycles and things like that. And spirit will really sort of delve into, okay, well, what's your view around motherhood? How was your relationship with your parents? And again, this is a generalization, because I'm not saying this is the case with every lady that has this, but there has been some clients that have had real issues with conceiving children, even though medically there's nothing wrong. But it comes down to their view of parenthood, because maybe their own parents weren't good parents, or they had fears around that they were going to repeat cycles. So being able to acknowledge that and address that healed it. And then they'll conceive pretty quickly.
Really?
Yeah.
So they can also guide you with sort of what direction and what path to take as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, even there is physical things that maybe people aren't aware of, and Spirit's been like, okay, you need to go to the doctor and get this checked out. Like this was I say life before COVID. So it's like 20 years ago, you know what I mean? It feels like forever. That there was a
Feels
lady.
like that
Yeah, that's it. We just forget it happened.
Yeah.
But there was a lady who had, it was a group reading. It was a mother and a daughter, and the mother had like teeth pain. And I said to her, I was like, you really need to go to the dentist and get that sorted out. Like, I think from memory, it was her husband or someone in spirit who we were talking to. And he's like, no, she needs to go to the dentist and get this sorted. And she goes, oh, it's been painful for about a week and a bit. She went to the dentist, and the dentist obviously examined it. She had an infected abscess under her tooth that was starting to affect her nerves and her bloodstream. And the dentist is like, if you can get this sorted, you could have actually died from it.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
You can end up with septicemia if it infects the bloodstream. And she was getting really sick really quickly.
Wow.
She's like, thank God we checked. Like,
Yeah.
So now that we're sort of on the topic of wellness and health, have spirits told you sort of any tips and tricks about what we should actually be doing with our health and wellness that we're not currently doing?
It's a great question. I mean, I feel like when it comes to our health and wellness, it's not a one size fits all. Like, there's things that will be tailored towards everyone differently. But Spirit personally always tells me, I mean, it's just common things like actually eat properly, drink enough water, try and get enough sleep.
All the stuff we almost know, but we just don't
when
do.
none of us pay attention to it. It sounds so like, of course, but
Yeah.
how often are we doing it?
Every expert we speak to, they're always saying the simple things are going to make the biggest difference. And it's funny, you can hear that over and over again, but you still don't make that change.
That's why we keep talking about it.
Yeah,
on the podcast.
exactly.
But even from a spiritual perspective, like, and this also relates to Chinese medicine, or also relates to Western medicine really, but the gut and our stomach is the engine of the body. And a lot of our emotional energies and a lot of things that spirit leads into also has beginnings in that. So if we're not taking proper care of our I feel like I've got acid reflux as I'm saying this.
No,
I'm like,
so do I.
spirit's like getting me.
I've got to clear my throat. My stomach.
There's spirit coming
I know,
in.
it's like we can't blame them for that, can we? But that has the beginning. So that will impact the skin. It impacts our mental and spiritual health connection. It's when I reference energy, because it is such a common term and it sounds so broad, but it's essentially referencing, I say it's like a radio frequency. So we're tuning the radio into certain frequencies. And to be able to connect with spirit, it helps to operate at a higher frequency. So I say to everyone, we can't forget we're still human. Every emotion you feel is still valid. If you're having a bad day, you're allowed to have a bad day. Unfortunately, bad days do lower our frequencies, but you're also allowed to have it moments. But the more that we can work on healing emotional stress, emotional trauma, removing things from our life, like we've all got people, places, things that maybe aren't the best for us, or their energy can be toxic. Like, I don't doubt, like, the three of us has probably all walked into rooms before and been like, that person's maybe not my person.
Yeah.
So-
or you've had someone in your life and as soon as they leave, you say that weight has been lifted off your shoulder because
Exactly.
you just
They
feel
were
lighter
draining
and it's,
you.
they were
That's it.
draining you. So it's
Sometimes
like,
we feel responsible to be their friend or be their support network, not realizing the emotional toll it takes on us. And nothing, again, necessarily overtly wrong with that, but it becomes a problem if we can't manage it. But then when those things are cleared, healed, evolved, or cut out of our lives, we're like a hot air balloon able to take off, and we raise our frequency and vibration. Suddenly we're feeling better. The body's healing. We're connecting with energy and intuition and all that a lot more concise.
We're manifesting. That's all we want. Manifesting. We've been talking about signs from spirits. What are some of the signs that you've seen spirits give people, or even that come through you? And what can we be looking out for? I have my own personal ones, but I want to hear from you first.
Well, there's so much to touch on this. This is like one of my favorite topics when we talk about science. First and foremost, I want to get to that question, but I have been saying this to everyone lately. Don't wait for your loved ones to cross over before you realize if that's a sign or not. Like, it's very hard for those of us, especially in the Western world, to talk about death, because it is something that's very upsetting. It's scary. It's, the trauma around it. But have conversations with your loved ones about, like, when we cross over, I'm going to give you this sign. I'm going to play you this song. Like, make it very specific and very random. So then,
oh, that's so good. I've never thought of it like that.
No one does.
And then you just wait for the sign. You're like, oh, okay, I finally found it, but it's probably been there all along.
Exactly. If you have a beautiful loved one who maybe is towards the end of their time on earth due to age or illness or whatever it may be, don't be afraid to have a conversation with them. Be like, like grandma, grandpa, mum, dad, brother, whatever it may be. When you come back, I want you to show me this to show me you're still here. And then when you get that, it's a sign.
Yeah.
Instead of wondering what happens after they cross over, wondering if it's a sign. But I love to test my loved ones. And people think because I'm a medium that I'm going to get signs all the time. And I actually don't. Like, my grandmother, my maternal grandmother, both my grandmothers are so beautiful, but my maternal grandmother for me was like a second mum. And I just always assumed I was going to get constant signs from her, but I really don't. But I love testing her. And one that I like to talk about all the time is, I said to her, this was a while back, but I said, show me a pink octopus. Because where are you going to find a pink octopus?
In a kid's book.
Literally. Like, I know you don't have kids. Anything under 25, I can't deal with. But, and then the next day I was watching TV and there was an ad that came up and it was for pool toys. And one of them was a pink octopus. And it seemed to be on the screen for longer than it should have been. And I've never seen that ad again.
Wow.
So, I say if we look for signs in everything, then nothing is a sign. But if you suddenly have that thing that stops you in your tracks and makes you think of your loved one, it might be a smell, it might be a physical object, it might be a scent, it could be a song, it could be a natural occurring phenomena like a rainbow. But that comes from them, because the universe is so complex that everything has purpose. Nothing's a coincidence. And common ones, people love finding feathers in random spots. I say that's angel wings, and angels for me are loved ones in spirit. But there's always something, if you look for it and you ask for it, they will deliver.
My sister, she says, I forget what they're called, those flowers where you blow.
Yeah, the dandelions?
I don't even know, but like the little white
ones.
ones.
Yeah. I think it's dandelions.
Yeah. One question that came up though, I want to ask, like, are you afraid of dying?
I was.
Okay.
But now I realize there's no such thing as death.
You live forever?
Yeah, the soul does. The human can't, but the soul will.
Do we have enough room for everybody though? I'm like, there's going to be a lot of us up there.
Well, it's the soul. Well, it's energy. It transforms.
It's all energy. Yeah, that's it. Like, the way that I like to make it easier for people to understand, you have to imagine a whole bucket full of water, and it's got a little hole in the bottom, and every drip that comes out of that bucket is a soul coming to earth. But eventually that water will evaporate and return to the bucket. And you won't find the soul in that bucket because it's returned to oneness again. We're all connected. So there's definitely room for all of us, but I don't know what this room is. Like, you know what I mean? Like, when I connect with spirit, exactly. It's always
infinite.
around us.
I've seen it before in ceremonies.
How do you?
We both
have you been there? I've been there.
I've done some weird shit in ceremonies. I'll tell you that.
So weird.
I've also zoomed out on the earth and I'm like, is it flat? Like,
no, I know. Same.
Like, we've both got kids. We've both got kids, and how do we approach death to kids? Because my daughter's at that stage of asking about it and saying she doesn't want us to die and things like that. What's the best way to approach it with kids?
Such a great question, because kids don't necessarily understand it like we understand it, but they do have the concept that it sort of still equals finality. And we have to let our children know that just because someone crosses over doesn't mean that they're not there anymore.
Yeah.
Because the analogy that I use is that it's like a car and a driver. And if the car breaks down, the driver leaves the car, but the driver doesn't disappear just because the car's broken down.
Yeah.
This changes form. So it's allowing children especially to understand that even though someone may not be here anymore, or just because you can't see them doesn't mean that they're actually still not around you. They can still hear you. You've still got your own personal relationship with them, and they're still guiding you. And again, it's about teaching our kids signs, letting them still talk to their loved ones in spirit. And I always say as well, and it'd be interesting to hear your stories on this. So I'm flipping the switch. I'm interviewing you now.
Oh, no.
But children up until the ages of 6 and 7, 8, I don't even say that they're human because they don't have ego. They don't have social conditioning. They don't know how to lie properly. Like they might tell white lies.
My daughter, that's all she does. She thinks, I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, oh, I'm just doing this. I'm like, no, you're not.
But she's not going to maliciously lie.
No, it's all like,
Yeah,
like
it's all these silly little white things.
Yeah, it's cute.
So when it comes to them, they're so open to energy because they haven't been told that it's scary or supernatural. And I always say it's not supernatural, it's actually supernatural.
Yeah.
So it's about explaining to the coming generation that everything you feel is valid. You can have your own personal relationships. You are already mediums. Every single person on the planet is a medium. Like it's just being able to read energy. Everyone can do that.
Yeah.
And I would love to look forward to a world where every child born now is connected to their intuition, that they're connected with spirit, that they understand that. Imagine how the whole world would change.
Yeah. I feel like that's already happening though. Like
It's
I think we're already on that path.
We're definitely accepting it more. I think people are way more open. It's probably the generations coming up who are probably more willing to accept it as well compared to sort of the older generations that, I don't know if you find this with who you're speaking to or who's the most sort of open generation. But my parents, like they probably wouldn't think anything of this. And they're like, oh no, I would never do this. And I used to be like that because I came from a family like that. But my husband's a chiropractor. He's much more open. So I'm definitely more open to like these sorts of things. Yeah.
And you've got a woo-woo besties.
Yeah.
But that's it. Like the older generation.
Constantly sending a meme.
Yeah. I want these memes out.
No, don't worry.
Start a group up.
It's
Can't wait. But that's the thing, like the older generation, and I don't take away from religion whatsoever because I think there's so much value in the sort of the moral guidance it can provide for us or the societal values it provides. But they always, I'm generalizing again, but the older generation was probably more religious than we were. So they saw their connection with a higher power very differently in the relationship with it, not realizing that it was actually sort of part of them as well. The younger generation, again, they've been raised by people like us and our generation, which is a bit more open to sort of seeing things differently because we've also learned from the mistakes of the older generations and we're also still making our own mistakes, but that's humanity. That's fine. To have to bring forward the current generation that's been born or even the teenagers, I mean, they're also the social media generation. So they've got so much more access to information and different viewpoints and holistic viewpoints than our generation had or our parents or our grandparents had. So no one generation's wrong in it. We're just evolving and seeing things differently as time moves forward.
Yeah. When it comes to spiritual awakenings.
I'm laughing instantly. I'm like, oh God.
I know. I've had a few. You're probably going to tell me about them later. But there's some prominent times in people's lives. I don't know too much about it, so I'd love to hear from you. What stages of people's lives does a spiritual awakening usually happen? I know right now, just because I'm in my early 40s, there's a collective happening for a lot of women. What are you seeing in the clients that you're seeing at the moment?
Yeah, pretty much the same thing. A lot of women in particular, I mean, majority of my clients are women anyway, but in their late 30s or early 40s, really reflecting upon life and having really profound understandings about like decisions that have made in the life journeys and the choices that they've been on. In general, the spiritual sort of first awakening usually, and again, I'm in general, but usually happens around deep trauma. So when people go through very traumatic incidences around either themselves or loved ones, either physical or emotional, it really sort of switches again, the frequency and vibration to them to sense things differently and see life differently. And that's a lot of the time when a lot of it comes in. So for me, I was very fortunate. I haven't, touch wood, I haven't gone through any really massive traumas, but inevitably life throws things our ways, of course. But, going through parent separation, being a teenager, high school, dramas, being a gay man in Melbourne, even back then in the early 2000s, it was a very different world to what it is now. And I think that sort of helped bring that in me, also mixed with other things I was doing at the time. But I always say in life, when things are going well and when we're happy, we don't want to change because we want to stay in that moment. The real lessons, the real growth, and the real understandings and outcomes comes from trauma and grief, because that's when life radically changes, and that shows us a different way, and it makes us think and see life a different way.
If you want in on the secret to firmer, smoother skin.
Oh, yes, please.
Well, then you're going to want to hear about Olay's new Ultra Firming Serum right here.
It's their lightest, most powerful serum yet, and it literally feels like water when you apply it. But most importantly, it's packed with serious actives for firmer and smoother skin from day one.
It's formulated with PHCA, a revolutionary antioxidant that works 3.5 times better than vitamin C and bakuchi oil, which is a retinol-like alternative that is clinically proven to be as effective as retinol.
It's also great for sensitive skin, and I love that it's not just one benefit. You're going to get 5: fewer lines, firmer skin, smoother texture, smaller pores, and real hydration.
You should start to see results from day 1. Your pores may look smaller. By day 14, wrinkles should start to soften. And by day 28, you hope to see a visible lift.
You can grab it now at Chemist Warehouse. Give it a go and let your skin do the talking. So do you think if someone doesn't experience trauma or grief, which I think we all do in some way, maybe some people just mask it or glaze over it like it didn't happen, do you think that they wouldn't have those kind of awakenings in their life?
Well, that's it. I mean, every single person still has something. That's the thing. How you choose to react to it and how you choose to go through it will react on how you see life, of course. If you choose not to acknowledge it or not to deal with it, then of course you're not really going to have an awakening, because that's like anything in life. If you're not going to focus on it, it's not going to come towards you. But you're also not going to be able to heal properly, and you're also going to hold on to things that you're going to bury in your body that are eventually going to cause mental, emotional, physical stress.
This happened to my friend about a year ago for herself, and her and I were actually at a ceremony, and for her, like after the ceremony, she just had this profound realization. She actually spoke to the healer that was at the ceremony doing some energy healings, and he said to her, if you hadn't had moved some of this energy and shifted, some major blocks for herself, she would have come up with, major illness later on in life. And she was somebody who didn't think anything was wrong and just everything was right in her life, and her marriage was great and all that kind of stuff, but just went, whoa, she was masking so much.
Well, that's
with
it.
Buying handbags, with doing certain things, and and for her it was just like big light bulb moment,
So
and
luckily
it
she had it.
shifted her life, and for now she's so much more fulfilled because of that realization.
And that's it. I mean, that we have to do what you've got to do to get through life. And women are superhuman anyway, because you carry the weight of everyone around you, especially as mothers. I can easily admit that women are stronger than men. Generalization.
No, I was like, I'm glad we've got that recorded.
Yeah.
Thank you. We'll be playing that over and over again.
Yeah, no, honestly, I'll put it on, I'll make it my bio on Instagram.
Yeah.
But because there's the weight of the world that's placed on women. Like, again, you've just got to do what you've got to do to get through it. But then if you don't pay attention to it, I don't know whether you've ever had the opportunity to speak to this lady, but she's one of my favorite people on the planet, Dr. Sarah Jane Perry, who does spinal
Oh, I've
energetics.
seen her work. It
she's
looks
incredible.
awesome.
She's
Is this
so
the woman
incredible.
you've been sending?
Yes, and it's kind of
To
like a
me?
bit like Kundalini stuff, but she's a chiropractor.
Well, she started off as a chiropractor,
Right.
but she also does Eastern
Yeah.
medicine, Buddhism, and everything. But she's created her own modality called spinal energetics, and basically, it's helping the body and the energy field be aware of blockages within the actual body. And she's not a healer; she's not going to fix it for you, but it's allowing the body to acknowledge it, because again, our body buries things because it's trauma response. That's how we survive.
But once you acknowledge it, what do you then have to do? Do you have take steps to fix that? Or
Well, that's it. Like if you don't know that there's a problem to begin with because you've forcibly forgotten it or blocked it out, then you don't know where to start. So her work is helping the body recognize that there is an emotional thing that needs to be focused on and healed, and the body will process it in its own way. But that's a combination of, again, mind, body, and soul, and you can bring in other elements of Western medicine or spiritual medicine to really help focus on it. But there's not many people I've met in this world that I don't think are human. Like there's only one or two, well, two of my best friends actually, but I'm like, I don't know how they got here because they're not human. Dr. Sarah is one of them. She's just incredible. Yeah.
Definitely have to run. I think
Shout out to Dr. Sarah on your podcast.
I had
She'll
sent
be our
her.
next guest.
So definitely have her on because I think that stuff's really interesting. And I think that's why we even started this podcast, because we really wanted to focus on the holistic view, especially around health and beauty, but you know, the energetic work, the functional and the medical, because it's all needed.
It's all the same thing.
And it's all the same thing,
phase,
different forms, like and
all
sometimes
under the same umbrella.
Exactly. And you know, some people don't realize that mental or energetic blocks or trauma stored in the body can manifest in illness. And so it's important that we are tuning in to be able to clear it out.
That's the thing. And men especially, like, you know, as I even made the generalization before around women about, you know, how they carry the weight, but women are more likely to acknowledge it eventually.
Is that why they're coming to see you over men coming to see you?
Well, I think one of it, but I also think, like, because I was a natural skeptic to begin with, like even before I went to a meeting myself, as I mentioned, I didn't really believe in it really because I hadn't experienced it. And I think men live in their ego a little bit more, but they're also a little bit worried about what they can't control. So if I can't see it and I can't sense it, or if I don't know it already, then that they view it as a threat. Whereas women are more likely to view it as, okay, I can use this to my advantage, or I can bring elements of this to help myself. Where men are like, no, I don't understand, so it's not for me.
Well, remember that we are an energetic portal to bringing in life into this world as well. And so we need to have that kind of stronger intuition to this kind of work as well. But it'd be amazing if more men would be able to tune into their hearts and
definitely happening. It really is.
It is
so.
happening. Yeah, it's
like,
happening.
You know, my clients for the last 10 years were predominantly 99% women. And now it's probably about 90% women.
Okay.
And there's a lot more men that are definitely open to it. But I think there's also some really good thought leaders, but also business leaders that are male that are really open to it because they understand that actually this can benefit my life, my business, my own understanding of myself, and how that then benefits my own well-being.
Well, I actually I saw a coffee cup reader, and I'll come and see you now, but I didn't see a coffee cup reader. He takes now a year almost to get in. His wait list is that long, but I went there for more business reasons. It was like my therapy. And like you're saying, it can be your therapy. And for me, I go there and I get clarity of what's ahead, what I can do, what I should be doing more of. It can get me excited for the year as well. And I love that. So, and he also says that a lot of like high profile business men, women, sports people, they're all going to see him. And you would probably see that as well, to sort of get clarity on the path you're choosing. And also to, like, for me, just know that I'm doing okay, and the path I'm on is the right one. Every year I need to go. So
I think the biggest thing, that lessons that males can learn from it, is that you're still the one in control. Like, women understand that regardless of who's giving them the information, they're still the ones making the decisions. Whereas I think for the most part, guys maybe think the decision's been made for them or taken away from them. That's why they're a bit avoidant to it. But it's, again, learning that yes, you can actually bring this on board and help it for your own benefit, and it can help you in life easier.
You can't just sit back and do nothing. Like, you still got to.
I mean, you can, but how far are you going to get?
Yeah. Like, if you're sitting in your house, certain things aren't going to happen unless you're getting out there. So is it like a bit of a mixture of, like, you actually doing something and also getting either guidance and using your intuition and all of that? It's a combination of the two?
Yeah, because it's still, you have to be the one that puts the energy out into the universe, and that will be that, as I was talking about, for the bridge that will meet you.
Okay.
So, even for myself, I'm like, I'd love to meet someone, but like, am I looking? Like, that's it. Like, you know what I mean? It's sort of like, where is he? He's under the couch. Like,
but do you know when you're going to meet someone or not?
I cry first on the podcast. I always thought it was in my 40s.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, and when I thought that at 30, I'm like, oh, but now I'm 38. So I'm like, oh, it's not that far away.
Yeah.
But like, I always thought my future husband was American. But then I don't want to just block it out, because he might not be. And I don't want to place that block. But lo and behold, he probably will be. But
Yeah.
I couldn't date anyone like me though.
It is hard though, because then
Drive
if
me
you
insane.
think,
I don't think any of us can date anyone like us.
yeah. But if you think, okay, so you say I might meet an American and you say you don't want to block that out. Like, how do you though? Because like in your mind, you're like, okay, well, like, yeah, I said I was going to meet an American, but I've met this amazing Aussie guy. Do I give him the time and the effort? Or do I just wait for that American guy?
See, personally, I've still given the time and the
Okay,
effort.
good.
Yeah, from my own life, I look at everything that comes into us is teaching us a lesson.
Yeah.
So even if this person, I mean, I don't know for sure that it's not actually the one. You know what I mean? It might, just because he's Australian doesn't mean he's not the one. But I'm also going to learn lessons, because if I wasn't, he wouldn't be in my life.
Or he's the one right now.
Or he's the one right now, exactly.
Yeah.
We can have
Perfect.
multiple.
I have multiple.
Yeah. I'll be a Liz Taylor and have like 8 marriages. No, I don't want to have one and done. Just turning this into a relationship and dating podcast. Anyone listening, if you know anyone,
We'll put it out there.
That's me putting energy.
Yeah, put it out
Actually,
there.
yeah, that's it.
You never know.
Today is the Lionsgate portal.
You're looking good.
Yeah. So you never know what we're going to manifest today.
That's it. Exactly. Well, good point. We're doing this on a very auspicious day.
We do. Do you believe that our energy impacts how well we age?
Great. I do, to be fair, because Western medicine will say that people that have been under a lot of stress look older. That's the thing. We may end up with more wrinkles. I think wrinkles are a sign of a good life, to be fair, but it doesn't mean I don't get Botox. Disclaimer. But it does, because the emotional side of things does have a negative impact on the body when, again, you know, when you're unable to heal it effectively or at all. So the more that we can free ourselves, the lighter we feel, and that impacts on the face in particular. And the eyes are windows to the soul. But I notice it myself when I'm feeling very stressed or run down or, you know, held down by things, my skin changes color. We all feel more tired when we're unmotivated or when we're feeling stressed. That has impacts on the physical health and wellness.
Because I was going to say, like, I think you look a lot younger
I'll stop it.
than 38. And we've actually had someone on the podcast. He's actually my mindset coach, Sridhar, and he is, I think, almost 60 now and looks like he's in his 40s. Like, I don't know, like but he meditates, and like it's the mind work and the energy work. I think it keeps you young. So I'm buying into it. Where do we bottle that up and
sell it?
Sell it.
Sell it.
Yeah.
Into wellness.
Yeah. Well, what happens with women, like even after childbirth is a good example, but even when women are really stressed for longer periods, what happens to their hair?
Starts thinning.
Exactly.
And falling out.
And falling out.
Even as, you know, I was talking about before, when women are really stressed, how's your gut doing?
Yeah.
And how does that impact your mobility, your joints, everything? Yeah.
Have you received any really powerful messages about health and wellness that have sort of come to you and it's like this light bulb, like, I wish I knew?
Yeah, well, the first one that comes into my mind is still meditation. Like when I was able to do that, and then I was bringing forward, sounds a bit woo-woo, but bringing forward like entities and things like that. And I was like, God, I wish I got into this sooner, because it just has such a benefit on my own mental health. Being able to do what I am so fortunate to be able to do has taught me a lot about life. And it's taught me a lot about how I understand my own life, the benefits that has on my wellness and mental health.
And what has it taught you?
Well, seeing every person that I read, I'm on their journey with them, and it helps me see life differently. Like it's helped me view relationships differently. It's helped me view my relationships with people in my family differently. It's the understanding that everything happens for us, not to us. And I can probably admit in my teens and early 20s, I probably did have the victim mindset. Like, why is this happening to me? Why is this? Now I understand this is why it happened. Hindsight for all of us is wonderful. I definitely think there's a difference between reflection and dwelling. Like there's nothing wrong with reflecting on the journey, but don't dwell on anything that you can't control anymore. But that is the biggest lesson.
Letting it go.
Letting it go, and you can't control everything.
Yeah, that's been a big one for me, is practicing letting go.
If you can't control it, don't let it control you.
Yeah.
So letting go of situations, exactly.
Yeah.
I think also just one thing, like what is so powerful about you is that you were a skeptic, because there are a lot of skeptics out there, and for you to have been in their position, but now have come out on the other side, I think that's really powerful.
Yeah.
Probably more powerful than if you were just born with it, because then people are like, oh, really? Like, it's like, no, like I didn't believe in this stuff and now I do. So
just for everyone, like I can appreciate it's not for everyone. Maybe it's not meant to be everyone's journey necessarily, but seeing is believing. Like if you can take on board something that doesn't necessarily have your current logic around it, that's okay. But there's so much to life that we don't know. We're really arrogant if we think that we already know it all.
Well, we believe in it, which is why we're gonna go into the second part of this podcast, which is we're gonna do some readings now.
Back, girls, let's go.
Yeah, we both would love a reading. Yeah. So, but I think we might let you take the floor in this, and whatever sort of comes out, let it come out. So we're just here. We're here for the ride.
It's for your best self.
Don't worry, I'm already on that.
First and foremost, have either of you I mean, by the sounds of it, you've delved into this, especially with you, but have you ever had readings before in general, like with a medium like me?
Yeah, psychic. We actually did with both of us before we started our business together. I had a separate reading with this psychic. And so did Anna, and the psychic told us the same thing, that we'd both go into business with a friend.
Yeah, so we've had readings separately. Christy's sort of more involved in it, but I do my coffee cup readings.
Yeah. Sorry, you did mention that.
And I've done a few others. Like, I definitely open to
I go to shamans and energy healers and everybody.
Develop it all. Yeah, I love
I'm
that.
in it. I'm deep.
Yeah. Well, what I always say, because, even with skepticism, one of the biggest things is when you read someone, they're like, oh, but, they've talked about that on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. And I say with everyone, 95% of what we talk about, 95% plus of what we talk about is not stuff that we necessarily put in the public eye, especially when you do have public images like we do.
Yeah.
Definitely do. I saw your schedule.
But jumping straight into it, like I said, there's things that maybe we don't necessarily talk about. And it is all, oh God, there's so many energies that just stepped in. I know I said this to you ladies at the start, but you are both bringing forward grandmother vibes because both your mothers are Earth side. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. If I started reading you 5 seconds ago, I'd assume your mothers would cross over because you're both bringing forward very strong females. Anna's directly into you.
Do I get a tissue now?
She's so little. She's like,
she's like,
and she says, no, I'm not your grandmother. She says, I'm your mum.
She always wanted to give presents back. And she'd be like, take that back. I don't like it. I love her. It's Nodgy.
Nodgy,
we call it. That's grandma in Hungarian.
Oh,
perfect.
So Gisela.
Yeah.
Gisela, yeah.
She said Godzilla.
Thanks, She was like 4'8" or 9.
She's okay.
She's
Good.
tiny.
It's not me being crazy because I feel like I could put my arm around her here.
Yeah, she's like up here.
And she says, "I'm back with
in her accent, Hungarian. Very strong accent.
Yeah, I'm doing it without even realizing. She says, "I'm back with that bastard," which I think is your grandfather. But there was a validation of him passing quite a longer time before they're all being separate because she says, "David, it's so good to do this," because she says, even though my girl, which is you, has had readings before, she says, I haven't been able to talk like this before. She says, they mentioned me maybe, but she says, I'm so glad I can talk like this. She says,
she does love to talk.
She says, can you tell her I love her?
Oh.
She says, because even growing up, she says, I never wanted to be without the girls, which I think you mentioned you had a sister. So, do you have 2?
Got 2. Yeah.
3 of you.
Perfect. Yeah, 3 of us.
Oh, God.
And she says it was like not that you were living together, but like I don't really spend a lot of time at her house or right nearby, or like she was at your house a lot. Like, there's a real reference of this is growing up.
Yeah.
She says, I'm just so happy that we were able to be towards each other. She says, I like her hair like that.
Oh my gosh, she'd always comment on her hair.
I know, I was like.
It's so funny. If she didn't like something, she would tell us. I'm like, okay, thanks. Always like, I don't like your hair that short. I don't like your hair that long.
Yeah, I know.
Thanks, Nodgy.
It's a random thing to mention, I know, because I was like, I mean, I think Anna's hair looks great too.
Oh my gosh, that's so
And Gina?
Gina.
What is that name?
Gina.
If you can't get it with a Gina instantly, don't stress.
Okay, no.
I just saw a lady that I know in my head called Gina. And she says, as a disclaimer, I know you're both mothers. What does Carol or Carolyn or something like that connect?
Is there a Kathy?
That's my mum.
Oh, yeah, it's your mum, Carol.
Mum, perfect. Okay. So you've got a very strong grandmother coming forward as well that again looks at you like a daughter.
Yeah.
This is beautiful.
Yeah.
Now, when I reference ailments, illnesses, causes, it's not a warning. Like these are things that people unfortunately have already crossed over from, or things that we know that are going on Earthside. I'm getting a very sharp pain through here, which is usually head, stroke, brain tumors, Alzheimer's, dementia kind of things. Now, I don't know whether that's with your grandmother in particular, but it actually feels more masculine to me.
It was actually on my, it was my great grandfather's, he had Alzheimer's.
Okay. Did you meet him?
I did.
Wow.
I
Okay.
was at his funeral, I think.
There you go. So great grandparents, they are always around us. They don't come forward in readings unless they knew of us.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. But
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah,
my
that's
grandma
cool.
passed.
I usually don't bring forward great grandparents that often because not many people have connected with them
Yeah.
like that. But it's for both of you, and it's such a common theme at the moment because we were even talking about transformation of women in their late 30s and their 40s about what we want and what we seek. It's the next sort of 6 to 12 months is really putting into focus, what do I want in life? Where do I see myself? What do I envision, or what am I reflecting? Both of you are doing it so well. Different paths, of course, because you're different women. Like not everyone should be on the same path, but you're both heading in the right direction. I know that sounds like such a broad, open-ended statement to make, but you both got the intelligence and the tenacity to understand that if things need change, I can change. And right now, your literal validation of that, pardon me, because it's all about communication. Because communication for you has been a really hard thing.
So hard.
To the point where everything we've talked about in this podcast would make sense. Now, I'd be interested to see your feelings on this, but like even throughout life, have you found that you've had like bad chest infections, throat infections?
I always was getting my tonsils, especially as a kid, because I was always squashed down for not speaking out. That was like I had a lot of shame and guilt and
Parents are separated.
Yeah. And that was like a big one for me when I was as a little kid, not having a voice. That's been a lot of work that I've had to do to be able to start speaking, be my authentic self. And it's just such a goal for me now. And it's speaking my truth. And that's why this stage of my life right now is so pivotal for me to jump to this next timeline and manifest like the next kind of level of relationships and love and connections and things like that.
You're writing the book. That's it.
It's happening.
Yeah, 100%. Because, when we feel like we have lost our voice or lost our ability to communicate effectively and positively, unsurprisingly, it affects our throat. It affects our chest, our lungs. We get lung infections. We get throat infections. Like tonsils is a big thing.
I got ill with I had pneumonia last year.
Oh, shit.
And
well, there you go.
Fully manifested. And it was coming down to,
Now, let me ask you this question. When you got pneumonia, I said yes. So you're away from your husband when that happened?
Yeah.
So when you were out of the environment with him in it, that's when everything went, and you're like, I'm on survival mode right now because I need to get through this and I need to feel it. I'm just going to get it done. And as long as the kids are good. And then as soon as the body's able to slow down.
Yeah. I get sick.
All around communication.
Yeah.
You see it in school teachers constantly. As soon as the school holidays comes, they all fall apart.
Yeah. In the gut.
Yeah.
Just was manifested straight away.
Stress and anxiety.
In my heart. Like the pain.
And it's exactly what I said, and everyone up here who loves you goes into this at the same time. You're allowed to feel whatever you feel, because for not only you two, but everyone listening, no emotion is invalid. Every emotion has purpose and reason behind it. But we have to remember that we control it. It doesn't control us, and it's not allowed to set our narrative. So we're allowed to feel it, we're allowed to sit in it, we're allowed to move through it, but eventually we're coming out the other end of it.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I've been talking about this so much lately. I love the Spirit brings this up with both of you. Every single version of ourselves, from the moment you were both conceived up until the women you were yesterday, still exists in this world. They're not walking around there. They exist up here. And every emotion that they've gone through, every life event that they've gone through, their emotion around that, their feelings around that, and how it affected them still affects your present because they're still in here. Now, the trick for all of us is to understand that they're allowed to feel what they feel, absolutely, and they still play a part of us, but their emotions from 20 years ago aren't allowed to affect us today because we're here today, not them. So many people, like, for example, they feel anxiety around certain events, and then Spirit will break it down with them, and they're like, well, what was the trigger point for that? They're like, well, my dad never listened to me when I was 6. So men I allowed men not to listen to me my whole life. I'm not saying that was the case with you, but it's a very weird thing to just say.
Mm.
Where's Bill or William?
My dad.
Okay. I
Literally.
like your dad. He's just
He's
doing his thing.
He's doing his thing.
Doing his thing.
He's good.
He's all right. Like,
He's
that's
a
the
good
thing.
guy.
So
He's a deep down. He's a big teddy bear.
he means well. He's
Means
very
well.
sweet. Like, I don't know. He's kind of like.
But my grandma knows him very well. So
Yep.
yeah, obviously.
Yeah. So when spirit breaks it down, it's sort of like, and this is something that's important for both of you to do. Like, we all have things in our life we regret. I think people are silly if they think I don't regret a thing. Everyone regrets something. Everyone's got something in their life where they're like, oh, I can't believe it. And that impacts our current still. So it's actually called the tunnel meditation. And it's about, do it when you go to bed even. Like, just somewhere where you're comfortable. Obviously, you know how to meditate anyway, both of you. But I do it when I go to bed. And it's imagine yourself walking down a dark hallway. That hallway represents you delving into your consciousness, subconsciousness. And then you open a door and it's as bright as the sun. And it's an endless open room. And then whatever emotional trigger point you are wanting to attach to, you walk up to a table and you sit down at that table. On the other side of that table is the girl, the teenager, or the woman who is living that moment as of that day. And you sit down with her or him, for any males listening, and you're like, okay, I understand exactly what you're going through. I hear you. I feel you. But this is me now. And I'm good and I've evolved and I'm grown and this isn't affecting us anymore. Or I've learned how to move on from this, or I've learned how to heal this. So you're safe and you're comfortable and you're heard. But what you're feeling right now is not allowed to affect me anymore. And then that previous version of us is like, okay, I don't need to dominate their current. And that is like 12 weeks of therapy in one 10-minute session.
Yeah. A child.
I was doing it as you spoke.
Perfect. That's it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't need to be something that goes for half an hour. You can do it really quickly. But all the fears that we have, all the anxieties that we have, all the stresses that we have, inevitably have a beginning point somewhere in our life.
Yeah.
I'm scared of snakes. Not everyone's scared of snakes. I've got trauma with snakes. So heal it. And I have.
Yeah.
I'm better with it.
Yeah.
So that's all they want you to remember.
Yeah.
And sort of like, you are so, even though you know you're getting stronger, you're so much stronger than you realize. And I'm so proud of her. Yeah, I'm so proud of her. They're so proud of you. Your mum's great. I do like your mum, but she's also doesn't feel like she's ever here. I don't know where she's living.
She's in Indonesia.
Oh, she's in Indonesia. Okay, I was about to say, because I was like, is she on holidays in Europe or something? I don't know.
She lives there.
What's her deal with horses?
Yeah, she's a healer with horses.
Oh, okay. Well, she's a great
You're right on the money today.
Remember when we were at the front?
Yeah.
And what were we talking about with horses?
Oh, I had a horse I rode on a holiday recently. It died 2 days later, and there was symbolic in terms of for me. There was a shift from my grandma, my great grandma, who all died of ovarian cancer and cancers like that. And the woman who ran the retreat, she said that the horse that I rode after it died, the wand, there was a spiritual wand at the ceremony that we were at this retreat. And the horse, actually, it was a pretty horrific story, ran out into a truck, got split in two, but the wand from the spiritual ceremony with all the women also got split in two. And I was one of the only 2 women that rode that horse at the retreat. And the woman who started the retreat healed herself from ovarian cancer through riding with horses. And I told her the story of my great-grandma and my grandma who passed from ovarian cancer. And she said, something shifted for you. And I believed that.
Yeah. 100%.
I had major shifts from that trip.
So even as we were talking about horses, had horses running into the room, and I was
healing with horses. Yeah.
Horses are the land-based spiritual animal.
Yeah.
Whales and dolphins do the ocean. But if aliens ever come and communicate with us, they're not talking to us. They're talking to the whales and the dolphins or the horses.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that we bring up the conversation before around death, because I don't want you to be fearful of death of the older generation. And that's not to say anyone around you is about to imminently cross over. But it's the reference of, God, what are you looking at? Les?
Yeah, it's my dad.
Dad, perfect. What, that would probably be, is he the Hungarian?
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect, because his mother is the one leading this.
Yeah.
What's his like Hungarian name? Because it's not Les.
Yeah, his name's Les.
Oh,
no, Leslie.
Leslie.
Laszlo. Lotzi.
I think it's, Laszlo or Lotzi maybe, because I wanted to say like, I don't know what I want to say, but it wasn't Les. Yeah. He's good. I've not got zero concerns for his. No, it's not a warning. That's the thing. They just don't want, don't even mention anything to him. He'll probably bring it up to you over the coming weeks about conversations around what he views the afterlife to be or how he views death. Because he's very lighthearted and quite fun and open, and he actually feels a lot younger than he is. So that's a good, I think your dad's actually the perfect symbol of, if we focus on energy, does it make us feel or look younger? Has he hurt his knee though? Pay attention to that, knees, ankles. I can appreciate he's a grandfather. So yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it's to come up.
But okay.
It won't be anything drastic, but he may just complain about mobility issues. Okay. I mean, every man over the age of 20 probably has sore knees anyway, you know what I mean? But it'll probably come up. I'm surprised, everyone likes Tim. They actually put a golden halo, which is my symbol for the golden child.
Yeah, everyone loves Tim. He's a perfect boy.
You've got 2 children, don't you? Boy and a girl?
Girl and a girl.
Girl and a girl. Where does Ollie or Oliver
Ollie
connect?
is my sister's boy.
Perfect. Okay. Your youngest daughter. So it's the 2 girls.
Ruby.
Perfect.
I've got Ruby, who's my youngest.
Yeah.
And Elle, who's the 4-year-old. And Ruby's 17.
Ruby's younger than 4. Jesus.
You know what's all?
She's going to control the family.
Is she?
That's for sure. She's got this real sassiness, dominance
like
to
she
her.
already does?
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's it. I mean, it doesn't have to do it when she's 20. She'll do it now. I'm just surprised she's as young as she is because she already feels like she's running the show.
She is.
Yeah. Al's a natural mum.
Yeah.
So she's very, I mean, she's 4, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm not expecting her to be responsible in that sense, but she's very kind of like a healer, really. Like very sort of soft and gentle, but also like 4-year-old girl.
Yeah.
But Ruby is here to really like fuck things up. Like, you know.
Oh no, I thought that was Elle. Now I've got 2.
It's going to wait till Ruby gets older because like I said, I'm surprised she's only 17 months. I would have said she was about 4 or 5, 6. Because that's the youngest. Yeah, perfect. But I've got 0 concerns with any of you. How many? Because you've got
I've got 2.
2 perfect as well, yeah.
Yeah, Zach and Ava.
So I've got 0 concerns about health with any of the kids. Physical, mental, emotional, and behavioral health, which is great actually. When you've got 4 that come from 2 different mothers, there's usually something that Spirit wants to talk about, but they're giving everyone there the thumbs up. You know, as your grandmother, you know, is just a dominant woman today. She loves your mum at the same time as well. There's an appreciation for your mum, but she does apologize for being difficult with her. So I wouldn't think that your mum would look at her like she didn't like her or anything like that, but it's this energy of just like tough, but fun.
Yeah.
And it's with her, she says, Dave, I just got tired. And there's things going on within the body, but she says, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like, I don't want to focus on it. It's all good. It's all good. Was there talk about like a ring that she had that was getting separated or something like that? Because it's not a wedding ring, but what she sort of shows me is not like my ring because it actually feels more gold or something, but it's been sort of broken into. But then she's referencing like 3 lines underneath. And I know you mentioned you had 2 sisters. So I don't know whether there was a piece of jewelry that all 3 of you had or whether something gets made into something else. She's also putting socks on you, which is so random. She's pulled it. So one thing at a time. Just pulled socks up. Yeah. So if that hasn't been talked about already, because she does reference being out of the physical world longer than 5 years. Yeah. It's got a sore kidney. She doesn't have kidney issues, but it's got a sore kidney. Could be me.
Could be you.
So yeah, there's something there to do with jewelry, but it's not like
she did give all her jewelry to all of us. So whether or not
it's more than that though.
Okay.
Because it kind of feels like there was something that was either remade or like broken down into pieces. So then like, say for example, there was one significant piece. I just put it on my chest. I don't think it was a brooch, but it might be. I don't know. But then it kind of feels like for the girls, which is you and your sisters. Yeah. I don't feel a brother. You don't have a brother.
No.
No, good. Because if you did, no one likes him. We're only talking about the girls. But she shows me breaking it down. So it's a gift. What does that mean? Okay, so somewhere, I interpreted it wrong. Somewhere over the coming, give me a period. She's +6, okay. Over the coming 6 months, there's going to be something about a significant piece of jewelry. Don't mention this to anyone. We can have it on the podcast, but don't tell your parents or sisters right now. That is going to be like what she references as a gift from her or a gift from spirit, but it's something that like you and your sisters will all receive. But it has to be like joint jewelry, if that makes sense. God knows where this is coming from, but even from the parents, to be very fair. She's taking credit for it.
Okay, thank you.
Because you said Gazella, didn't you?
Gisela,
pardon me. Yeah, because I've got ease in my head. All that they're doing for both of you is leading into. They're telling me to hurry up in spirit. Spirit's like, hurry. And I was like, sorry, guys. It's leading into exactly what even we've talked about today. It's about simple setting, having your own personal relationships, which everyone up here is proud of you for both doing, because it's sort of like, you know that in your own way you can still talk to us and get guidance from us, and we're never going anywhere, which I love when Spirit says that. Keep an eye out for songs in particular over the next 24 hours. I want you both to set a song with Spirit.
Okay.
I even talked about this with earlier in today. How funny, Spirit doesn't talk about this that often. Set a random song that you know you're not randomly going to hear, and allow them to show it to you over the next 24 hours. Because I can hear music in the background. There's something about it. Maybe make it an older song, because it kind of sounds like, the 50s or the 60s kind of music. It could even be traditional Hungarian, you know what I mean? Like, where are you going to hear that in Sydney or, around the place, but play it. But you are very much watched over and loved. There's no doubt about that. And they're just, through the storm comes the new beginning. But like, nothing in life is easy, but we know when we're meant to be doing it, or we know what is right. So from everyone up there, and from me, of course.
Oh, thank you. We love you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I love you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh. Wow. That's so good. Thank you so much.
Pleasure's all mine.
Wow.
Thanks for the chat.
Yeah.
We've got one last question.
Yes.
That we always ask everyone. It is, what makes you feel confident in your skin?
Honestly, age. Yeah, with age has come wisdom and a different way of viewing the world, and a different way of viewing myself, and the realization that no one cares. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, like, do what you want. No one cares. And that just gives me this comfort and makes me feel a bit more confident. Paris Hilton always said, never worry about what people are thinking about you, because they're too busy worried what people are thinking about them.
Yeah.
And that made me feel confident.
Yeah.
But also, the love of my family, my friends, that's a strength that makes me feel comfortable and confident too.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
And where can we find you? We'll obviously add in the show notes all the links to your handles, etc. But do you want to just tell us?
Yeah, so Instagram and TikTok is at David the Medium. I've also got my own podcast, which is Medium at Large. Drop that in on a podcast. And my website is davidthemedium.com, which is where my appointments are released, and also my online events. And most excitingly, coming up, I've also got my own Australian and New Zealand tour coming out soon. So this begins in October, and I'll be visiting every Australian capital city, the Gold Coast, and also Auckland in New Zealand. So it's going to be an 11-show, 10-city tour.
Wow, how exciting.
So tickets will go on sale start of September.
Awesome. Getting a ticket.
Yeah, we'll be there.
I'd love to have you both as my guests.
I'd love to.
It'll be at the Opera House in Sydney.
Beautiful.
Oh, amazing.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.